What is up, my dudes? Today we're going to be doing a simple but effective upgrade for the Skyline. The shifter on the R32 honestly doesn't feel that bad. It's not loose, but the throws are very long, and I think we could do a lot better. While I was cleaning out my garage, I found something that I had completely forgot about, hidden away for almost 8 years. Tucked away was this Circuit Sports short shifter. I had this on my SR that was in my S13 maybe like 8 or 9 years ago before I went 1JZ. The Rb20, KA, and SR transmissions are all the same, minus the bell housings, of course, that will bolt up to their respected engines. So I don't doubt that this will not work on this Rb20 transmission. Since the shifter is going to be off, once you remove the shifter, you expose the transmission, or like the internals of the transmission, and you can also go to pour gear oil to refill it versus having to pump the new gear oil through the fill hole. And if you ever done that before, you know that it sucks. So since all that's going to be open and exposed, I'm gonna take the time to at the same time fill new gear oil. Redline MT90. I used this when I was SR and I loved it. It just kind of sucks when it's cold, but once it's warmed up, it worked great. And also I bought new OEM fill and drain plugs. They're magnetic, and yeah, they are. That's cool. So if there are any metal shavings inside of the transmission, these two are going to pick it up. I've never taken the shifter off of a Skyline before, so I don't know exactly what I need to take off, or more so what I don't need to take off. I don't want to take off anything extra that I don't need to, but we're going to learn that together. Pull this plastic piece up. What do you know, it looks just like an S chassis. So we're going to take off 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts, and it should remove this metal ring, and it should let this boot come off. So these 2 bolts you can get out no problem. You got plenty of space to get a socket in here, but these 2, it's hard to tell, but you really can't get a socket to go in there straight. I know it looks like you can from this angle, but they're a lot more inward. So you could do one of 2 things. You could remove this whole center trim piece. 1, 2 screws will remove it, or you can use something like this. This is a 10 mil specialty socket set that my buddy McRib got for me for my birthday, many years ago. I haven't had a use for it only because I have not lost a 10 mil socket since then. But I see something that I can use right now that'll help me out, and that's this guy. Let's see if this works. Cool, now this boot and this metal piece should be ready to come off. I forgot how much of a pain in the ass these shifters are to take off, whether it be on an SR, a KA, and now RB. These 90s Nissans were engineered to be easy to work on, and they are. Like everything else on the car is super easy to work on, except for the shifters. Take a look at this. This shifter has 6 bolts that you got to remove, and only 1, 2 are visible and are easily reachable from up here. Alright, my dudes, we ran into a bit of a problem. I don't know if you can tell, but these bolts are offset, and this one that's made for a SRKA as opposed to RB, they are offset too, but they're offset in the opposite direction. I think the internet lied to us on this one, and I did a little more research, and I think that this one is a GTR Style Shifter. Well, that sucks. I was looking forward to having a better feeling shifter, but I guess that's not going to happen. I could buy a proper GTR style one, but the only brands that I really see they make one for the GTR style is GK Tech and Cube. Number one, if you guys know me, you guys know that I hate GK Tech. I've had so many bad experiences with the 2 products I've ever bought from them. And as for Cube, everybody who I know has ever ran one of their shifters, they all hated them. So I can't rely on Cube either. So it looks like we're going to stick with the OEM shifter for now, but I'm going to leave all this off because I would still like to change out the fluid from it, and I still want to take this off and use this as a fill hole versus going underneath and using the fill hole on the actual transmission. It's a lot easier to do from up here. I got the car up in the air, and if you're going to be doing this same job, make sure that you have the car on all 4 jacks around the same height. That way the transmission stays level, because that's how you're going to be able to tell that your transmission is full at the correct level. If your transmission is angled downward like this because only the front is raised, then your fill hole on the transmission is going to be at a different level than it should be. All right, my dudes, I'm underneath the car right now, and the fill plug, which is that guy right here, is somewhat in the middle of the transmission. And make sure that you take off the fill plug first, because if you go to drain it first and you can't take this off, because sometimes they're stripped or they have the same exact style half-inch plug and it's stripped, and if you can't take this off to fill it up, but your drain is off and you have no fluid, you're kind of screwed. I mean, technically you can fill it up from the shifter hole, but you won't know once you reach your fill level. And yeah, I know I got oil leaking from kind of everywhere, but I'm guessing that it's from the valve covers, because the back of the engine has a lot of oil, and all of this is coming from the back of the engine where that valve cover oil leak is from. As I was about to take the fill plug off, I suddenly remembered that I'd been through this before, and what happened last time I tried to do this was when I had my SR maybe like 8 years ago, and I tried doing this job for the first time and I could not get it off. And it is a 17 mil for the fill plug, and it ended up rounding off because it would not budge. That fill plug had never been removed, and I ended up using something like this, a pipe wrench, a small 8-inch pipe wrench, and that could even get it off. And I ended up fucking up the fill plug, and I ended up not taking that fill plug off that day. And what I had to do was wait until my clutch went out, or I had a reason to take the transmission off. That way I can like get leverage and room to really take it off. And at that point it was kind of like I couldn't get it while it was underneath the car. So before you go to take off your fill plug, if you have this style, I urge you guys, please use a torch. You will thank yourself later. This will get it off little by little, or don't. I'm not your dad. But if you are gonna get one, I recommend investing in one that has this right here, an adjustable knob, because sometimes there will be a spot like in the engine bay or underneath the car where you need a small controlled flame, and this will do it just fine. The transmission fluid is draining right now, and shit, I'm not gonna lie, our drain plug's not looking too hot. This isn't good news, but I did take a look at the fill plug and there's not a drop of oil on this. So my guess is that it was probably underfilled. If after driving around, like, this thing doesn't even have anything on it, like, this should be a little wet, and it's not. But not to worry, after we're done with this will have 2 new plugs and it'll be filled up properly to the fill level that it should have been at. I've taken off the shifter. It's just one snap ring that goes inward and you can pop off the shifter, and now we have access to fill our transmission. I've laid down my shirt just in case I spill, and also I put in the drain plug and have my fill plug open. That way once I start hearing fluid come out and drip onto the pan that's underneath, then I'll know that it is at the correct level. And the interwebs say that it's around 2 quarts needed, so we have 3 just in case it's a little bit more. Hell yeah, that's what we want to see. We've reached our fill level. It ended up taking like 2.5 quarts, so make sure you get at least 3. Alright, my dudes, the shifter is back on and all the trim pieces are put back together, and the drain and fill plug are back on. All that's left to do is just put the car on the ground, and that's it. But today it didn't work out like I thought it would. I thought we'd be having a new, better feeling shifter, but that wasn't the case. I guess I learned something new with this car, that it has a GTR style transmission where you change out just the shifter, not the whole like a bracket, or I don't even know what you would call it, the thing that comes off. It's got like 6 bolts. On SRs, KAs, and supposed RBs, they have that where it's like 6 bolts. You take that off and then yada yada yada, but whatever. I may or may not buy the correct short shifter for this, because at some point this Rb20 is going to get some power upgrades, and I don't know if the stock transmission is going to be able to hold it. I've never hit the limit of a SR Rb20 KA transmission because I haven't ran one for a long time. I've mainly ran CD009 and R154, and those are a lot stronger, and I don't think I want to find out the limitations of it. I prefer to have something in that's bulletproof from the beginning. That way I don't ever have to worry about something breaking like at the track at the worst time possible. So I've been looking at R34 transmissions, and yeah, it is pricey to put a whole new like setup, clutch, this and that, but I don't want to have to ever worry about this breaking. But that's all I got for you guys today. I don't take today as a fail because I learned something, and if I can learn at least one thing from what I'm doing, then I'm alright with that. And hopefully you guys did too. So thank you guys, and we'll see you guys in the next one.